Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ietsie Klein Podcast. This is episode 16, and I'm your host, Hatreda. Sure. Okay. So, this week I haven't done a lot of knitting. Well, I say that, but for context, it's Tuesday today. Um, I have been feeling quite tired since Sunday and haven't been able to motivate myself to film yesterday. And since Sunday, I have not knit a lot. I've knit probably like 2 rows. So what you will see today is pretty much what I knitted on Monday, which was a public holiday, and Tuesday night, a little bit of Wednesday night. Thursday, I didn't even knit. Not a lot. I think I knitted in the evening because in the morning I was feeling quite headachy. So yeah, not a lot. It feels like a lot of fabric, but not a lot of knitting. So yeah, cool. So my favorite piece, which is the Eclipse of the Moths. Oh, I'm just holding it up and it's already itching my nose, which is why I'm not working on it, because it's making me feel so itchy. I don't know why. Maybe it's not cold enough. It's so cold as it is. Maybe it's not cold enough yet. I don't know. Anyway, so last time when you guys saw this, I think I was just underneath the moon over here, which was on Sunday morning. Sunday, I finished the yoke up to the color work. I actually went to bed too late Sunday night because I was obsessively working on it. But yeah, so it's now just past the sleeve split, and I've worked a little bit on the body, and I've put the collar in. So the collar gave me such headaches. This yarn with the tencel, it is behaving so much different towards what I expect from merino, which is absolutely wild. Let me just quickly check the content here. Yeah, it's 50-50. So that makes sense why it would be so much different. It's not like with the merino linen that has something like 15 or 20% linen in it. This is 50-50 split. And tencel obviously is not merino. The fibers will be behaving differently. So what I did originally was that I knitted a double collar and then worked the inside down. But then there was so little stretch in the neck that it was all puckered up, and that affected the color work, so it didn't open up properly. So I took that out. But when I took it out, the pieces that I was using to tack it down with, sure, it would have gone through the merino, which is a little bit more grippy, but pulling that out, it would just break. And I wasn't kind to it, I will be honest, because I was frustrated. So when it would get stuck, I don't have the patience to sit there and work out which fiber is it that's getting caught. So I would just pull it, but it would break so easily and so often. And then the pieces that was part of the second half of the ribbing that I ripped back, it became very fluffy very quickly. So I'm very glad that the bulk of the sweater is going to be with the kid silk, because that will add a lot of tensile strength to the actual yarn. What is also fascinating about the yarn, and this is why the collar didn't work, there's almost no stretch. So a normal merino, you expect to have an amount of stretch. This yarn, I'm holding it up here, you see it's relaxed. When I pull it, there's that much stretch. That's it. That's all that it stretches. With a merino, I'm just going to grab a random object that has a piece hanging out. So here's merino, right? You see that bounce. It just doesn't have the bounce. And it's because of the tencel, I get that. But yeah, it's fascinating, exciting to be working with a different fiber. It's very interesting. I'm enjoying the process. I'm not hating the yarn. Let me be very clear here, not hating it. I know that when things doesn't work out, it's very quick to just go, oh, she hates it. No, I don't hate it. I still love it. I will continue with this project as soon as my nose doesn't start itching the second I try to look at it. But yeah, this is how far we are. Let me put that over there so it doesn't itch me. Then I did start another project as well. I'll talk to it in a moment. I just want to quickly talk about new yarn that came. So this is from Estereza. The 5th skein fell down. But look at this. Oh, it's so gorgeous. The more I look at this yarn, because it's lying on my table at the moment, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh, I just want to make something with this, but I'm not sure what I want to make because I've got sweater quantity, but it would also be a nice like shawl quantity, and like, there's too much possibilities. But yeah, really love it. It is stunning. The speckles, the depth of color, the color variation, I'm in love. So I'm not sure whether it would have been Esther or Teresa who dyed this, but whichever one of you it was, stellar job. I am in love. Let me just pick this 5th one up, and then this can go into the stash. There we go. Stashed. Cool. My second project that I worked on. So this one is, surprise, surprise, a new start. I'm a menace, I know. So for local yarn shop day, you saw that I bought from Woolies a merino linen DK worsted. It's a strange one. It's like, it works like a worsted, but when you wind it on a wraps per inch, it's a DK, and when you look at like where it comes from the mill, it's a DK. But yes, it is what it is. I got that beautiful gray, and I had the maroon from before that was in the wishbone sweater that I've talked about before. I'll link the video somewhere. But with the wishbone, I don't want to continue working with it because of its strange shoulder angle. So I took the yarn from there. I didn't unravel it yet because that's usually what I do. I just leave the project unraveled until I actually want to use the yarn. So I paired that with the gray because it makes a really nice color combination. And I felt very less for some brioche. You know, you sometimes get in the mood for brioche. It happened to me. And then I started, it's called the Brioche Bliss. That's the back of it. It's designed to be in one color, but you know, your girl's a menace. So I added the second color. And there you can see the inverse side contrasted very nicely. So it's worked with a double collar. I don't know what my obsession is with double collars these days, but here we are. And then it has a double knitting band on the side. So because it is originally designed in one color with a double knitting band, I kept it in. I didn't want to remove it because who has time to go and knit a band afterwards, right? But I worked out that the way that the double color brioche gets worked, if you do have a double knit band, it works out, because if you knit the whole row one color, the whole row one color, and then it will be 2 right side rows, and then work back again with 2 colors, it will be 2 wrong side rows. It's just getting worked a little bit offset. And because the pattern was originally written for a single color, but thankfully all of the increases happen at a cadence that I can do the wrong side brioche before having to do the increase, because all of them work on a 4-row repeat on a 1 color, but then that ends up being a 2-row repeat for a double color. It works out. So I did it. The hardest part was the short rows, because I didn't want to have this like single color section for the short rows. So I made it up as I went along. So there's double color short row brioche in here. I can't tell you how I resolved the wraps and turns, because like I did it differently every single time. I got to them and I was like, let's try it this way, let's try it that way. And I had piles of fun, but it looks really cool. There is a few places where like the wrap overlaps a little bit, so you don't have that like clear single color column. You have the wrap that's sitting there and breaking it a little bit. There's one there, and then the other one that's looking a bit funky is this side. But I'm not too mad about it. Like, this will be the inside, so I would like it to be reversible, that you can decide whether you want to wear it maroon side or gray side. But either way, I'm not mad. I'm really chuffed with myself that I managed to work it out and do it without having to like look up something. Because like I've started this whole trend now with myself where I'm sure people have done certain things before, but I want to work it out by myself, because I feel like doing my hobbies, and this is something that I've learned from the whole quilting exploration that I've done, still being done. I don't know, something, a vibe. I enjoy puzzle solving. That's what I like. That's my core hobby. My core hobby is puzzle solving. It's not any particular one thing. And if I remove that puzzle solving aspect by always looking up how other people have done it, then it starts becoming less fun. Which also then brings me to my topic that I want to talk about today, which is around your mental health, relationship to your hobbies, and taking a break, burnout, all of those kind of concepts. So having this experience now since Sunday where I haven't knit a stitch, I haven't stitched a thing, I will be honest, the most productive thing I've done was play mobile games on my tablet and just tapping the screen. There's a game called Stronglets, which is a new one that Netflix have brought out together with their new Black Mirror series. That is premium. It's really good. It takes you about 2.5 hours to get through like the main storyline, and then you can choose whether you want to replay it and like have a different ending or a different path to like how you interact with the little Stronglets. But like 2.5 hours of your life that I can guarantee, if you enjoy mobile gaming, you're not going to hate it. You're going to enjoy it. Very existentially, very self-reflecty. And sometimes the Stronglets would like say something or ask a question. I'm like, that one hurts. Thanks. So I've been having a blast, but I have been doing a lot of things, and I've been going fast at work, and I've had the medical issues and all of these kind of things that all add up to this feeling of not necessarily wanting to knit, but also not necessarily wanting to be staring at a wall. So yeah, I have some thoughts. So I think that very often in life, you get to a point where things stop being fun. And it might be that like on the surface, nothing really changed. Like you're doing the same job, you're having the same problems, you're interacting with the world the same way, but you just feel this like heaviness. And I think it's so easy for a lot of people to just say, oh, but just work through it. Like just push through, just drink more water, or I don't know, get up earlier in the morning, or I don't know what's faux science people things wants to like throw around, but like make these suggestions that feel very, I don't know, hard to do. Because not only is the feelings that you're feeling much bigger than just drinking more water or getting up earlier or just pushing through, but it's also feelings that you have been feeling for a long time. Because sometimes you tend to like put feelings on the back of your mind and not really pay attention to them because they're hard to work through. Emotions are really hard to work through. And then one day you just wake up and you have this heavy feeling, and then it's not as simple as just gritting your teeth and doing the things that's expected of you, because every single day doing those things become harder and harder to do. And the longer you ignore it, the longer you just grit your teeth or just try to tell yourself it's not there, the longer you will struggle, the longer you will have this like thing that sits on your chest like a stone. And I think it's really, really important to recognize in today's society where it's almost like a person's worth has been intrinsically bound to how productive you can be, whether that is productive in your work or whether it is productive in your home, how clean your house is, how well looked after your people are, or how happy your boss is with your work, or how good your team is performing if you're in a leadership type of position or something like that. But it feels like in today's day and age, your entire person has been boiled down to this singular thing called productivity. And I don't think that being constantly productive, being constantly producing of things is healthy. Because if you take a look at like the greater world, nature as a whole, nature doesn't grow year round, you know? Like if you have a piece of field that you expect to be harvesting every single month, you're not going to get a single harvest from that field. Because first of all, plants take time to grow, to mature, to move through what they need to move through in order to produce what they should be producing. But also the soil, the plant themselves, the ecosystem around it, the weather, the temperature, everything works in a cycle. And a cycle of rest is just as important as the cycle of productivity. You need time to go slower, to have the cold reach out into your bones and just do nothing, or do something differently, because I don't think that when it's winter time, nature does nothing. There is definitely things that happen, but it's happening at a much slower rate, right? And I think that that is something that has been lost in today's society and today's way of existing and working, because way back, before we had factories and machines to do things and a particular way of living life, when we were all just peasants relying on fields, we also worked in cycles with the seasons. When it's summertime, everybody was out in the sun and in the fields and harvesting and planting and like doing pest control and making sure everything runs fine and all of those hard chores. And then when it's wintertime, we weren't in the fields checking the soil all day long. We were doing other tasks. You were at home, maybe spinning yarn or maybe working with whatever it is that you need to produce throughout winter, but in a different way and in a much slower way, in a calmer way. And you were also like more homebound than going out into the fields and things like that. And we've lost that because now year round, we don't have like a summer season and a winter season in the cities anymore. It's just all the same season, and sometimes we wear jackets and sometimes we don't. And I feel a sort of sadness towards that, because like as it's getting colder, I can feel myself also slowing down, wanting to do different things, wanting to do more quiet things. Yes, it's the perfect time to be knitting and crocheting because you're working with something that would potentially like warm you up or be in your lap and be hot. But at the same time, if that's what you do all year round, it's maybe also time to just take a pause and reevaluate whether that is something you want to engage with in the same way right now. And I think that it's important to recognize, first of all, that a period of rest is important in our lives, and that rest shouldn't be tied to productivity. You shouldn't be expected to have to make something or create something or do something while you're resting. Resting should be just that, resting, taking things slow, recovering, recuperating your energy. And I think that we should also give each other the grace that when we are in a period of rest and wanting to rest, that we give each other that space. You shouldn't be measuring others by the same yardstick as what you measure yourself, because their journey is also different. Maybe they have a different relationship to productivity than what you do. Just like I now am sharing my ideas in terms of what I think is important, I'm not going to come to your house and be like, so when are you taking your breaks? Are you going to try out a different hobby? I'm not going to do that, because that might not be necessarily what a healthy engagement looks like for you. And in that same breath, like, as much as I have these thoughts about what I think is important for me, it's not necessarily important for everyone. And it's kind of beautiful that is the way, because I even see it coming back to the whole natural shift of seasons. Some people are energized by the cold and some people are not. Like my husband, he's living his best life right now. He loves being cold and I hate it, and it's fine. It's okay. I don't want to go and tell him, oh no, you need to also be upset because it's cold, because then I will be losing a large part of what helps me to cope while it's cold, is seeing him be happy and be energetic. So I think that we need that variety. We need that difference in people. And it's beautiful. I think it's nice. Yeah, cool. I have rambled now for, according to the recorded, about 22 minutes. I hope that in my discussion and thoughts, you maybe found something that resonates with you as well. Come tell me in the comments if you feel you are also entering a rest period during winter, or whether you feel like you want to keep going during winter, whether you have this connection with the seasons, or whether you don't, whether you feel like it's connected to something else. Maybe it's a shorter cycle or it's a longer cycle. I'm very interested to hear how other people's cycles work. I think that it's fascinating. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much for coming to listen to my podcast. I really enjoyed having you here. I hope that you have a wonderful day further, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.